Morning everybody, Chris here from Build True Associates. Today we're doing a pre-purchase property inspection for a client. I just thought I'd take a moment to run you through how we assess a bathroom vanity. Okay, so this is our vanity in question, likely to be about 25 years old and on the outside doesn't look too shabby. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our tap on, we're going to turn it on to cold. Cold should be on the right, hot should be on the left. It's a universal standard. We want to make sure that the tap's been installed the correct way. We're going to let that run for a while, make sure that our flow is good and our sink's not overflowing. That could indicate a blockage. Happy with that, then we move it over onto hot. While we wait for that to heat up, we're going to make a quick assessment of the vanity top. So, all looks pretty reasonable, not too bad at all. Aha, okay. It appears that we've got some damage here. A little bit of a crack and delamination. So, that might have occurred when this tap was installed, because this tap certainly looks a little bit newer than the rest of the vanity. It's probably not going to be repairable. That's probably going to have to be replaced, the vanity top that is. Or it might be better just to have the whole vanity unit replaced. But we'll crack on. So the other thing we're looking for is we're looking for a bead of sealant that runs in between the wall and the vanity here. That's important because that's going to prevent moisture damage to our wall linings or the carcass of the vanity. From any moisture that ends up getting trapped between these two surfaces here. This vanity doesn't have a bead of silicone installed, so we'll recommend when the new vanity top goes in, that one is installed. Any plumber that's doing that will do that as a matter of course. Alright, so this is heated up now, this is quite hot. So what we're going to do now is we're going to temperature test it. Okay, we've just temperature tested it. It's sitting at 50 degrees flat. We're pretty happy with that. That's not too hot that it's going to be dangerous and not too cold that it's a hygiene concern either. So we're happy with that. We'll turn this tap off now. Alright, moving down the vanity, we'll look at our cupboard fronts. So you can already see that these are pretty badly out of alignment, especially that middle one there. So that might have dropped, we'll have a look at that. So people don't realise, but these are pretty easily adjustable in a lot of cases. These two screws here will give you play in and out, and this screw here will give you an adjustment up and down these two. It means you can raise and lower the whole cupboard front. There is signs of wear and tear that's consistent with the age of the vanity here, so delamination, a few chips on the outside of this timber veneer as well. Not too worried about that given the age. A little bit of discoloration on this panel here. We want to make sure that all the drawers work. Happy with that, no issues. And then we want to look at our plumbing. So what we're checking here is we're checking that there's no moisture underneath the bottom of this P-trap here. If there's going to be a leak in the plumbing, it's most likely going to be from one of these fittings here. The water then runs down to the bottom and then drips off. So we always run our hands underneath the bottom of this P-trap. Also want to have a look at the rest of our plumbing. Any leaks, always do a touch test. No, all feels pretty good. No visual signs of leaks either. Generally you'll see pooling in the bottom of the vanity, certainly because there's some toilet paper here. That means that there's unlikely to have been any leaks anytime recently. A little bit of mould in the back of the vanity, but otherwise no serious delamination or anything like that. So we'll close that up. Okay, the last thing we're going to check is the vanity securely fixed and fastened to the wall. The best way to do that is a little push-pull. Yep, absolutely. There's at least a few screws in the back of that, so we're happy. Perfect. So that's a really quick down and dirty on some of the things that we're looking for when we assess a bathroom vanity as part of a pre-purchase house inspection. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of damage to the top of the vanity. Otherwise, we would say that it's entirely fit for purpose for the next wee while at least. And any upgrade would be more of an aesthetic consideration rather than something that had to occur immediately as part of good maintenance. that's probably the only negative comment for the rest of this bathroom. Otherwise, all in pretty good nick for the age, and we're good to go.